think they'll jump in. Oh, we're live, baby. Perfect. All right, that worked actually flawless this time. Here we are on a fucking Tuesday, man. Live in the Boneyard. Please, it's an honor, man. You guys
absolutely
introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm Dave, and I'm the vocalist and yeller of My Own Will.
Yeah. I'm Max, bass player and backup yeller at My Own Will.
Right on.
Nice.
It's such a pleasure to have you guys here. It absolutely is.
We appreciate you having us. With the pandemic still pretty much in effect, there ain't too much to do besides write music and play video games and talk to cool people over the internet. So
and reminisce about shows of the past.
Right.
I know we're in Ontario, Canada, so we totally understand that right now. Probably more than anybody right now. So, but never mind that. Let's get right into hearing about My Tune. You guys just released it on the 9th of April?
I think so.
For the video?
That sounds right.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right. I don't remember.
That sounds right. Yeah, that was the 9th.
I did my homework. It was the 9th.
Forgot better than us.
Yeah, it's just kind of a one-off single that we just kind of wrote after finishing the recording process for our debut full length. We're still in the process of getting that all ready to go, and we wanted to release something to tide people over until then. So that's essentially what it boils down to. We just wanted to put some new material out that kind of captured our sound now that we have Max added to the fray. My Tune is our first ever released track with Max on writing and playing credits. So kudos to Max. He's officially he's officially a part of the band and doesn't get paid anymore.
It doesn't get paid anymore. Well, wasn't that? And that was a long time ago now. So 2 years.
That was a long time ago, but I just pouring a little bit of salt in the wound.
What's up, homie? He harassed me for a long time too. I'm telling you, harassment city. But it was loving harassment, so I'm okay with it.
Right on. Do you want to tell us about how you became part of the band?
Okay, why not? Well, oddly enough, so the way I actually met Dave was through a friend who plays in the Convalescents. His name is Ron. And I wanted to see him and see his band play. So what I chose to do is I knew Dave gave out free tickets. And so I decided to make friendly with him to get a free ticket to go see the Convalescents just to see my friend Ron. And kind of when I just moved there. So I was in another band called Smash Your Enemies. And during that, they needed a bass player. They said, do you want to fill in? And me and Dave kind of started talking and hanging out more. So he said, hey, we need a fill-in. So I said, fine, I'll do it. And after the first show, it seemed like that's where I should be. Everyone was on board to try and snatch me, especially him. And he started a campaign of people to have Max join My Own Will. And it was like Max My Own Will something 2019 or something. It was some campaign. And I had people I didn't even know telling me to join My Own Will. And then one day I just kind of had something happen with Smash. And I said, well, I decided to go full time with them. And here's that's my fun journey to joining these weirdos.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty determined individual, so I follow the Barney Stinson law of I'll get the yes. I always get the yes.
Get the yes.
kind of how I roll with the show. Like I'll hound you until you finally come on. But you guys answered me right away. Boof! Like we just started talking a week ago, I think it was.
Yep. Well, I mean, we're pretty responsive. We all manage our own social media pages, so if you hit up the band page, chances are you're gonna talk to one of the members of the band.
Don't think
Typically,
there's really anybody else.
Typically, it's me. So if you hit up the band page, you'll be talking to me most times. We always try to respond to people. I mean, before we started playing in a heavy band, we were heavy music fans, and I know nothing was more important to me as a budding heavy music fan was interaction and engagement with my favorite artists. So we just try to make ourselves open and available. And another part of that is I really struggle with my mental health, and a lot of other the guys in the band also struggle with mental illness. So we try to make ourselves open and available if people need something like that. We talk about it quite a bit in our music. So
Right on.
Yes, okay. As I've always said and preached, and I know Amanda feels the same way, with music being that healing factor, like, is that what kind of draw you into music? Is that how you ended up in it because of the mental struggles you guys have, or?
Kind of. I can't really speak for Max personally, but I can speak for myself. For me, it's the performing aspect of it. I really enjoy the performance aspect of the music. A band that really has influenced my own will as a whole is the Acacia Strain. And if there's one thing about the Acacia Strain that's consistent is the intensity of their live shows. So that's what I fell in love with. It was like seeing them and like After the Burial and Lamb of God, and just watching how like those guys would command crowds. That's what I really fell in love with. And then I'm big into like rap and hip hop and stuff like that, and like poetry, and so I mean, I guess kind of, but that type of stuff doesn't typically make it into my own will music. That's just typically my personal outlet.
Well, I was gonna say kind of what got me into music. Actually, I went to my uncle showed me a Kiss DVD, or he showed me a VHS of like the Psycho Circus video, and it was a 3D, and I just thought it was so cool. And then my parents took me to go see Kiss in like 2002, and that was basically it. All hands on deck. I'm playing guitar. That is Kiss. That's the coolest damn thing I've ever seen. And I was like, I need to play guitar. And then I kind of just went through, and that's where my love of music came. And then I kind of, with the heavy music, it seems I'm a little more versed on the heavy music, on like older deathcore and stuff on the other dudes. Because I got into I was getting into like death metal, and I was like, Arch Enemy, Deicide, and just all those bands, which, came up, be like, hell yeah, this is sick. And then it was when like deathcore was like at its infancy, when Job for a Cowboy just put out like their Doom EP, and you were checking that out, and just bands like that. And I was like, this is sick. And then to see it, and then as I've gotten older, I've just seen deathcore and heavy music get more extreme and heavier, and it is the coolest thing ever. And so I'm kind of like, I'm a nut when it comes to extreme music. So yeah, get me on a rant about that.
No, go on if you want.
No, of course.
So
oh man,
yeah. That's funny that you mentioned Psycho Circus. I actually talked to a guy named Robin Diaz today, and he recorded on some of that album.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
So that's funny that you mentioned that. So right on. So aside from you guys mentioned metal and rap, do you have any other influences that have influenced you guys as a band?
As a band.
Versus your personal?
Let's see. The band the band mainly formed out of a desire to do what was kind of current and like trending in metalcore at the time, this was around the time like Parkway Drive was like not really transitioning into the realm of like the heavy metal, like big like arena rock sphere, but they were just kind of the kings of metalcore. We were really inspired by like Killswitch Engage and like Unearth and stuff like that. But then we were just like, I don't know, none of us really liked melodic metal. Like if we like stuff with that's like really melodic, it's like actual like pop music or like adult alternative type shit. Like we'll listen to like Steve Winwood while we're on tour and shit like that. You know? So like
some of the things I have heard when I've like woken up from a sleep.
Yeah, so like for us, it was more about like, okay, what we like about metal is we like the slow, sludgy, nitty gritty, like down tempo, like the mean, like stank face type metal. So we've just tried to just channel that and just have a cool, like punkish, live energy, and just, you know, it's just something we enjoy. We enjoy playing this type of music, and we enjoy the people that enjoy coming out to these type of shows. And, you know, obviously with every career, you become jaded in a certain way, shape, or form.
Even now,
process.
Being surrounded by so much metal for the most part, as far as music goes, when I do play my own personal list, it's more or less fucking trance and like fucking techno and stuff, right? Just because I'm so saturated with all these, like, I love my metal and it'll always be a part of me, but sometimes, man, like I just gotta hear what they're saying, you know, hear the lyrics, right?
I agree.
Well, and for like, the way I describe it is there used to be so many different stigmas within the metal community in terms of like you couldn't listen to anything with like clean singing for a while, or like, you know, if you liked anything other than metal, then you weren't like a true metalhead, or, you know, like just all these like just stupid, like
if you understood really them, you know, they obviously aren't metal.
Right. It's like if I could read the logo, the band probably sucks. Like,
gotta look like a pile of twigs.
That's how I found most of the shows I went to before the pandemic was because I couldn't read the band's name. I'm like, I'm going to that show, baby. Right? Like,
right. Yeah. See, for me, I love listening to like pop music and like hip hop and stuff like that. But for me, hip hop, it really expands the rhythm palette that I can pull from, you know, like as a scream vocalist, there's only so much I can do. I can do my highs, I can do my lows, I can do my mids, I can do my voice scream thing, I can do like my scream sing thing, and that's about it. Like, so I can't go like through 8 octaves. So it's all about the rhythm and, you know, being different enough to be entertaining and keep someone coming back when you have such a narrow skill set, I guess is the best way to put it.
I will say there's on the new record, just on an unreleased song, I don't remember the title of it, just speaking of the whole rap thing, he had some rhythm going on in like one verse that was the most memorable thing I've ever heard, and I wish I remembered what the hell it was, but I know it was really sick, so I'm just going to point that out now. Because, you know, I need to tell people. I love you, Joe.
I can't see that on my screen.
Joe Ortiz.
Oh, that's the homie from Houston. I love you, Joe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, he's the guy I did some crazy stuff with. Shot the fireworks.
Oh, that's awesome.
The city, you know, that shit.
Oh,
you want to expand on that just a little bit?
I mean, I have no problem expanding on my wild stuff, and since Joe's here, it's even better. So, you know, he kind of does this thing called clock pull, and anyone can play in it. And it's the most fantastic thing. When I've seen anyone can play in it, you cannot even play it. You don't even know how to play an instrument. Don't matter. A guy played, I think it was a cheeseburger once. That's how badass this is. So So we played. We always were invited to play performance art night, and always were like, "Hey, man, do you want to do performance art?" And we were like, "Fuck it, let's do this." Call it performance art, whatever you want to call it. And our fun was one time we did the Star Mangled Banner, where I barely learned the Star Spangled Banner. Me and a bunch of other musicians played it horribly, gave sparklers to the audience, and shot off Roman candles in the middle of the city. What? And obviously had no problems in that. We played on the light rail. Didn't get nothing for that, but I think the video shows a guy on his phone, and it looks like we ruined his day. Just fantastic. It's just this guy is just wanting to get home. Like, he's sitting there like playing his poker game, surrounded by like 50 people, playing horrible whatever ragtime blues crap that we came up with. I think that hell, we did something so dumb. We played upstairs at this place called Fitzgerald's, and we played The Bird is the Word. It's one chord. You just play it really a lot and be really obnoxious. And we decided to take it down the stairs and outside with drums and shit. And I think it was the owner. Someone said, "You get your ass back up there," or we're stopping the show. So we pissed off people there too. And I know there's a bunch of other crap that I can't remember that's happened, but that's kind of the shit that we got into.
That's awesome.
Sounds like some good times.
Max has a bunch of weird one-off stories like that.
Oh, I do.
Oh, they're fantastic.
I have two. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah, I got too much. I've done too much, seen too much.
Yeah, I hear you there, man. I've traveled a lot, and it's amazing what you see when you're on the road and you're actually looking around and stuff. So I know you guys have toured a lot then. Like in general, like over your careers, what are some of the best tours you kind of have played on and done?
Well, unfortunately, this is gonna hit Max in a very soft spot because he wasn't able to go with us.
Don't tell me. I know what it is.
We got to tour Canada, and that was by far one of the most righteous experiences I've ever had. We got to go through like Toronto and up into Montreal. That was pretty sick. Like where, like to the point to where the road signs go from English like straight into French, and I had no idea what was going on. And then the people up there, I'm trying to explain to them like, I don't speak French. Like, is there any way you can help me? Little do I know, they're being prejudiced against me thinking I'm a Canadian who doesn't speak French. When if I would have just told them I was a dumbass American, they would have pointed me exactly where I needed to go.
Oh yeah, man! It's
that was my first time ever experiencing.
I thought Canadians were always polite. I thought
not to one another. They're polite to Americans.
Yeah,
but there's a French Canadian like divide.
Hatred. It's a rivalry.
It's mainly Quebec and Ontario, though, and it really is. If you tell people from Quebec you're from Ontario, they won't help you. For some reason, I don't know if it's because we're not bilingual or it's a really weird dynamic. And like I live in Niagara Falls. I'm in a tourist town, so like I grew up being nice to pretty much everybody. So when I traveled from here to Newfoundland, when we went through Quebec, it was so weird because I'm so used to people reciprocating, right? And it was really weird. And if you can't try to speak French, that makes it even worse. They'll help anybody else in the world, and same with anybody from anywhere else in Canada. But for some reason, we have a strange dynamic with them.
By far the craziest experience of my life. But I did get to eat poutine every single day for like 2 weeks straight.
I did
play Canada once. I played Canada once with Smash Your Enemies. Where was it? It was in Windsor. We played in Windsor,
Ontario. Yeah, right across the border, baby.
Right across the border. It was my first time ever going. I went and got poutine, and I was happy as hell I did. And then we played. I don't remember the bar, and all I remember is a guy kind of destroying the window. He really wanted to do it, and he just hulk it out, boom. double
probably an
splash.
American that came up for the show is probably what that was.
Yeah.
Oh I've never seen a guy just so determined. He's like, he just looked like he was gonna break something. Just
Wow.
he's a big guy too.
You can just tell. That's funny.
And
Yeah.
actually, he had bloody, like all the glass and crap, and I thought we were going to get shut down. I was like, "Well, that's the end of that."
Not
And
Windsor.
we got to. Yep, they ruined that.
Yeah, no, not in Windsor. Windsor's got a really good music scene. They've got a very hard music scene, but they've got a great music scene.
Windsor, when we played, was nuts, and I will say that was one of my first experience in Canada. That was sick.
Awesome.
See, like packed out place, so it was fun.
I find a lot of the bands that we talk to that have, whether they're overseas or out of the States like you guys, their best shows or favorite shows have always been kind of in Canada.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, actually, to tell you the truth. Like, I'm part American itself, like, so I'm back and forth a lot, but
it's just funny because the logistics of every show of the Canada tour, in terms of like elevators for like second story windows being broken, and like like all sorts of shit. Like, we had to carry so much gear up so many flights of stairs on this Canada tour. Like, I kid you not, every single night the elevator was down and we couldn't use it.
Oh,
so was I really missing anything?
So it was so that part was hell, but the playing and the crowds and just the shows themselves were all really, really good. It helped we were with a pretty solid package as well.
Yeah, of course.
That always helps. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, every show was absolutely phenomenal.
Nice. Plus, so I'm glad to hear you had a good time here.
Yep. Some other highlights before you get your thought off, Max, just while I'm thinking about it. Texas is always fun. I'm going to give Max his Texas props.
Give me the Texas props. That's right.
Yep. And Florida's always fun. And I've only played New York City once, but New York City was a blast as well.
We just had before I gotta. You go ahead, Max, and then I'll ramble.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I only really have, like, to be honest, I've only been on like 1.5 tours with them, and that's really all I've been able to do. So I mean, like, I did one where we did our full, we did our Disgust EP, which to be honest was a blast in itself, because we actually there was a band we were supposed to go out with that didn't happen, and so we had to replace it. I had to replace them, and we were like, well, crap, who can we ask? And it was actually one of our friends' bands. We were like, dude, it would be cool to tour one time together. And just out of a mishap, we ended up grabbing them, and they said they would tour. Collapse survived. Shout out to those dudes. And it was kind of like, it was really fun, because it was my first proper tour out, and I found it to be the greatest thing on the planet. We had played some weird places, played like a bowling alley, played a record shop.
That's we played up here, man.
But then the end was like, while we were beaten, browed, the whole 9 yards of feeling like crap. It was 3 days of festivals. So it was our last 3 days, or it was like the last 4 days, but it was 3 days of festivals, 3 days of hell, 3 days of fun. We got to play the Gathering of the Juggalos, which was an experience all in itself. And while I got to intake the Gathering a little more than they did, they kind of they wanted to go fix the earbuds. They left me and my girlfriend to our devices.
Yeah.
Well, the problem was the in-ear monitors went out the first day of this festival run, so he wanted to have fun, and we're like, hey, dude, we still got like 3 more of these big ass shows. Like, we got to fix this.
Yeah.
So we compromised. We left him unsupervised and left him to his own devices. And
oh boy, was it fun!
Mama, Papa, and Baby Bear went and took care of business.
The things you see at the Gathering, oh my god, it is just. I tell everyone, you need to go even one day. Just take it one day. You can go home, never have to go again. But take that one day. You'll enjoy it later.
Yeah, you'll talk about it later for sure.
And then what is it? We played Q-Palooza.
Yeah,
we played Cute in Cincinnati at the yacht club with this glass ceiling that could have collapsed at any moment. And that was
Cincy is always very kind to us too.
Cincinnati
I have to bring up Cincinnati. I talk a lot of shit on Ohio, but Cincinnati is pretty awesome to my own will. So
every time I fly out that way, I always have my layover in Cincinnati. Doesn't matter where the fuck I'm flying that way. I love that place, man. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good time.
Cincinnati's kind of weird because it's in Ohio, but it's kind of like sorta Kentucky. Like it's just kind of in this it's got this weird dynamic. But
it is.
I don't know. They love us there.
Actually, a fantastic band that we just had on the show recently, D-Spell from fucking Cincinnati. They're like a gothic underground D&D independent band, man.
I like this already.
Cleveland, actually.
Yeah, we'll hook up after. I'll make sure I send you their music and stuff, man, for sure.
Sounds interesting.
Excellent, great. And we were talking about Texas. You got to give a shout out to Cauterize. Fantastic band from down there, man. And Montreal, you're going to have to give me 1 sec. Dead Man Prophecy, man. We've got Midnight Trouble, right? Or Late Night Trouble, sorry. We have fucking Last Dance Among Wolves. You have Empire to More, Your Last Wish. Fuck. We got it rocking down here, man.
Don't forget about Gaia. She's out of Montreal as well.
Gaia, all my heart to her. I'm a huge fan of her stuff, man. Whether it's her independent stuff or with her band and stuff, it's phenomenal. But go ahead. Sorry to interrupt, but I had to do that.
No, not at all. God, Texas is awesome. So I gotta say about that. I moved here. I moved up here from Houston, Texas, and I've made this my home. I guess my heart's still back in Texas.
Of course.
Just a little bit.
I'm originally from Georgia, technically, and that's where my heart lands, right? Like, I live here in Canada, but really not the only reason. One of the reasons is because COVID happened when I was living here, so I kind of got stuck here. I can't cross the border and stuff, right? So I kind of stayed for a few reasons, but that's the main reason why I'm still here, right?
Yeah. So okay, so you're not
awesome.
You're not actually like born and raised Canadian, huh? Just born and raised Georgia boy.
Actually born in Alliston, Ontario, and then I was shipped down to Georgia to my dad's side of the family when I was 14, and then I spent a long time down there. And then I came back for a bit, and then I've been back there, and then I'm about 50-50. Half my life I've been there.
So half in America, half in Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
You have dual citizenship?
I do, actually. My old man,
awesome.
U.S. military, right? He served his time in the war and stuff, and then my mom was Canadian. So I gather after the war, he was done the war, so he was in Hawaii doing training all the new kids that were going back over to Vietnam or whatever. My mom was on vacation, and that's where they met. And, my sister was born in California on Pendleton base, actually. And then after that, they flew home, and then my mom went into labor while we were here in Canada, I guess. I popped out here in Canada, and I've been back and forth my whole life.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. Been quite the life, man. I've been traveled.
No kidding.
Very well traveled, right? So
I was about to say that's quite awesome. The story.
Mm-hmm. I was born and raised in Niagara Falls. I've been here my whole life, man. Minus 1 year. 1 year I lived on the East Coast in Newfoundland, and it was definitely something. And I've traveled a little bit, but I don't know. Niagara Falls, the entire world comes to me, so it's not terrible if I don't get to leave, right? You guys were talking about Ohio, and some of the nicest people I've ever met in my life are from Ohio, especially working in the tourist area. Some of the nicest people I've met are from there. So,
well, see, we're from Michigan, so we're trained much like the Quebec Ontario hatred. Like, it's just like we got the same sort of thing with Ohio.
Really, eh?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. When I moved here, I didn't realize there was like this just button heads somehow.
Oh, I
Yeah.
never heard of that before.
No, it's a
Okay,
thing.
so
He's right.
do you know the actual story behind how Toledo became a part of Ohio?
Toledo,
No.
Ohio.
No.
Okay, so
No, go
I wanna
on.
know.
I'm glad I said what I
Get
said.
it.
yeah, so this is the actual story behind it. So basically what happened was in the 1800s, both Michigan's government and Ohio's government was fighting over the strip of land referred to as the Toledo Strip, which is where Toledo is located, and it's the land that runs parallel to Toledo. So the fight got so intense that the entire, I think it was the federal government, stepped in and was like, yo guys, like relax. How about we come to an agreement? And Wisconsin was like, yo, we'll give you the entire Upper Peninsula, Michigan, if you let Ohio have Toledo. So Ohio got the Toledo Strip, and we got the entire Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
That's a great deal.
The greatest trade deal in all time, man.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's funny.
I don't know why that stuck with me from like 4th grade social studies, but Miss Lund would be very proud.
Well,
Yeah.
that's because I
Little
said what
shout
I
out.
said 5 minutes ago. That's
I wish
why.
I learned that. I never learned that in school, but I guess because I schooled in Texas, so I had Texas history.
Yep.
Yeah.
We fought
Yeah.
over a strip of land and got probably the most gorgeous piece of land in Michigan in exchange, so it worked
Right
pretty
on.
well.
No
Yeah,
arguments there.
I can say as far as it goes, though, I haven't been very many places in the States, and people that come here from Ohio are super nice, but Michigan's one of the only places in the States that I actually have been and spent time in and loved it. So there's a little bit of redemption.
No, I mean, it's like Canada's little brother in many aspects.
It's true, though.
So yeah, it was really nice. It was really nice to be there. We were there for like a week.
Yeah, we've got the Tequamanon Falls, which if you're a big fan of Niagara, you should definitely make the trip to Tequamanon and check both the upper and lower falls out. I took the fiance over there in October, and even in the frigid cold, it was gorgeous with the little like snowflakes hitting the both the falls as they were coming down.
Yeah, I'd love to check that out.
It was a great time. And the
on.
greatest part about the entire drive was because it took us 4 hours to get there from our B&B. Up at like the very tip of Michigan, like, and this is the part of the UP where you can like look across part of, I want to say that's Lake Superior, and you can see Canada across the water.
Nice.
So it's one of the nicest places in Michigan, super tranquil, beautiful view. And what are these two guys doing on their beautiful lakefront property? But warring with political propaganda during the election cycle last year between Biden and Trump. I kid you not, these neighbors hated one another so much that they both had flags and I swear to you, these guys spent like at least $1,000 on their political propaganda.
Wow, man.
Oh, this is great. I never heard this story. This is
awesome. Oh yeah, dude. I'm driving by and Paula goes, "Oh, look at this joke," and it's this like big Trump, like this huge like just Trump sign. And it's like hanging from these trees and all these little signs in the yard. And I was just laughing my ass off at it. Well, we see a bunch more. I was like, oh, yeah, another one. We're about to laugh at this guy. Same exact style of shit, but all for Biden. So these two clearly hated one another and just sat there just trying to like annoy each other.
Yeah,
just
that's so funny. They pick that team, man, and they fight to the death.
Yeah.
You know?
Jamie,
that's over.
Yeah.
Jamie, to answer your comment, Mackinac Island in the summer is gorgeous. It's one of the only places where automobiles are completely outlawed. So yeah, you can't drive an automobile on Mackinac Island unless you're like basically you have to be a highly ranking political official.
Yeah.
Or like that's the only time a car is allowed on the island.
Wow.
So yeah, it is Mackinac Island, absolutely gorgeous. Some of the best fudge you'll ever get.
It's on my road trip list.
Yep, You can do an entire bike ride around the island in less than 5 hours.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Yes. So you can do an entire trip around the island, see everything there is to see on the outside, and even check out the fort that's in there and all the little shops, and hit the bars downtown, and still make the
Yeah.
ferry back to the city before they shut down for that evening.
Wow,
So, yeah.
that's awesome to know. That's
Yep.
definitely going on my road trip list. We're doing a big road trip this year in the Boneyard, and kind of documenting and filming that.
Yeah.
You guys will probably be on our stop, like once everything's all opened up again.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
stop by, we'll barbecue
I'm
up.
fully vaccinated, so and Max is starting
Yep.
his process.
I'm half.
And,
I need one more.
so
I'm waiting to hear back about my. I just tried to book my appointment, so I'm waiting to hear back on when I go in for my first shot or whatever. Right? So
nice.
we'll see. Yeah.
I provide assistance to adults with disabilities. So being in the field, I was able to get one really quickly. So I was very
excellent,
fortunate
man.
in that regard. Yeah.
Good to hear.
Your rollout has been quite more successful than Canada's, I guess, at this time.
Yeah.
We seem to be having a little bit of difficult. I mean, it's happening for people, but it seems to be a little bit more difficult for Canada to get the numbers up as far as vaccinated people go. We're getting smaller amounts of doses in, but should happen soon, I imagine.
Did the government put up a lot of money to buy any vaccinations themselves, or?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to say what is and isn't the truth, but I've read anywhere from $5 a shot to almost $10 a shot. That the Canadian government's been,
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, like, I mean, it's difficult for me to say, oh yeah, this is the way, because I'm not sure. And myself, I am autoimmune, so I have not thought about having the vaccine myself yet, because I do actually have a blood clotting issue. So I myself thank people like you for doing what you're doing, because it's not as easy of a choice for me as it is for you. So thank you.
Well, that's the argument I always make to people, is it's like, well, if I'm healthy, why do I need to get the vaccine? That's a question that's always posed to me. And my response to that is, well, there's people who aren't as healthy as you who want to get the vaccine because they're not as healthy as you, but they cannot get the vaccine. So they're relying on people like us to be able to get it, to reach herd immunity status. But yeah, the main reason why I was asking is I think the US's ability to roll all of the vaccines out as effectively as we have is mainly due to the fact that our federal government flipped the bill for, however many, I think it was like 100 million doses. Like Johnson put up 100 million, and then the federal government matched it. So, we got 200 million doses straight out into the ecosystem, which I think really helped in the grand scheme of things. The problem we had is a lot of people were booking appointments, and they were booking multiple appointments because they were in a panic trying to get one, and they would just forget about the other ones that they scheduled. So all these doses that they were supposed to get would go to waste.
Oh yeah.
Which is something that you're not really hearing about, but as I work close to a pharmacy, I see that type of stuff. So I feel like I'm able to report on it in good faith.
Yeah, as far as I've seen, that type of thing is happening here too. But I mean, like,
I actually got lucky. I just I used, was it vaccinefinder.com or something? Booked my appointment the same day. I know it sounds like really
met some dude in an alley, gave me a shot.
I know, and it sounds like it, but it's a legitimate website. I swear to you. I know it's like, it sounds like I'm trying to sell you like backdoor drugs, but no, it's literally. You want a vaccine? I got it right here.
I don't think vaccinefinder.com is the real. I I think it's .org is the one you use.
It might be .org.
Okay, because .com takes me to something that looks pretty fucking sketchy. If
I gotta.
Okay, all right. Then do the .org. That's probably what it is. Yeah, no, it's .gov. What the hell? Well, whatever.
Dope.
Whatever website that is officially sanctioned by Finding Crap, it found me a CVS that had what I needed, and within an hour and a half of my appointment, I booked it and went and got it. Like I got it all same day.
Man.
It was like bam, like that. No. Yeah.
We're give or take, for what I understand, about a week out from the time you make your appointment to 2 weeks, depending on which state or area you are in Ontario. So.
Okay.
Oh, you're weak.
Yeah. So, right on. Well, go ahead, TJ.
Oh, no, I was just mumbling. You go ahead.
I was just going to ask what social medias you guys are on and where we can find your merch and all that fun stuff.
So I personally am on Facebook quite a bit. If you are into unwanted, unwarranted, unnecessary opinions on music, media, politics, morals, and everything in between, you can find me on Facebook. I have an Instagram. I rarely use it. But the band can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify.
Music,
you can find our music on Apple Music, Google Play,
wherever all streaming services end up. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're on like Tidal and shit. I don't know.
I love how you guys are like that though. Like you're like me. Like we broadcast on quite a few different channels. I don't know a fucking name of them other than Facebook and YouTube. But
right,
I think we're on Twitch now, baby. You know, like moving up in the world, right?
Right. I think we're on Tidal.
Streaming exclusively on Mint.
Yeah.
Nowadays, when you're an independent artist and you're distributing your music, you only have so many distribution channels you can go through. And typically when you go through those distribution channels, their packages include all major platforms.
Yeah.
So, and even the ones that you haven't heard of, like all the platforms that could be potentially overseas that may not have like English support and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's the one perk to going through a company like DistroKid, I think, is who we used with My Tomb.
Yep.
I believe.
Yes, it is. Yep. We use. Yeah, it was DistroKid.
Yeah.
I remember.
So I have one quick question. Actually, I always ask. This is probably the one question I always repeat, man. What are some of your local bands we should be listening to as well, man? Because we got to give a shout out to everyone that plays music, right? So,
right.
Collapse Survive is our good buddy Keebler and his boys. His band is great. As far as local artists, like I said, I mainly listen to hip hop, but the few local heavy bands that I listen to now are from Michigan, Funeral Wake. They used to be called The Throne the Deceiver. Great guys. They're fucking super sick. Spirit Breaker is another good one from our area. They're super sick. Sleepwaker, as always.
Those guys bang.
Yeah. Hollow Front, they're getting quite a bit of traction right now. Our the guy who produced our record finally officially joined the band that he's unofficially been in for like 5 years at this point. So like
now he's official.
Now it's official, eh?
And now it's official
here in the Boneyard, right?
Yeah. Well, so he had been making a ton of music for these guys for years, but he just was helping them out mainly with songwriting, and so now he's actually in the band. So that's super dope that he's getting the credit, and I don't think he's going to be touring as much as the other members do, but he is officially in the band. I'm glad that Samantha brought up Cloud Rat from Mount Pleasant because our good buddies are also from Mount Pleasant. Oh, there's the comment.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
baby.
homies.
Our good buddies Nagazi are from Mount
Yeah.
Pleasant. Those are great
Shout
human
out.
beings.
I love those
Nice.
guys. Nagazi
Oh my
is
God.
like
Nagazi's like if Dad Rock fused with Lamb of God, and I love both, so it's perfect for me.
they're the dadliest dads ever, and they're so awesome.
Oh, Alex from Spirit Breaker is in here. Hey, Alex, no problem, anytime. And there's that comment.
They're here.
Yeah,
oh, there it is, right there.
I know. Fuck. Huge shout out to Brandon behind the scenes. The guy's doing
Brandon's
a fucking
killing
amazing
it.
job.
Oh yeah.
We love Brandon.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Killing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy him a case of beer for all his hard work this week.
There it is.
Let's see.
Brandon.
Yeah.
Any other Michigan bands you can think of, Max?
Yeah, I think you got him for me, right?
Carnus Immortalis. Obviously, give Wagner a shout out. Nethergate.
No.
What's the other band he's in? Pyrrhic.
You know, you know a little better than me.
Yep. And then I'm gonna give one last shout out to a rapper from Detroit that's been really popping off. Actually, two of them. One that's unknown but is really, really sick is John Penman. He doesn't get the respect he deserves, but his pen is super good. He's really talented. And then a guy that is popping off and doesn't need the shout out, but I'm going to mention him anyways. Boldy James, super sick. Just signed to Griselda. He's super talented. One of my favorites.
Oh, awesome, man. So many bands. Fuck, I'm going to have to rewatch the show and write every one of these down.
I know, and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't listen to heavy music, guys. Like,
I don't listen to heavy music, but I have some in the pocket, you know?
Yeah. I have a couple I know, he says. I got to give a shout out to Michigan heavy metal over there at that scene, man. Keeping it fucking real with bringing bands out of your guys' way, right? So I know she was a huge fan, but she was pretty busy tonight, so she wasn't. I was going to get her to jump in because I know, but I'm sure you guys will be on again, hopefully, and we'll make sure she makes an appearance as well.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, one of these days, our two camps are going to have to link up because I've heard great things about those guys. We haven't, the opportunity to work with them hasn't been presented yet. Mainly because the only time we've really discussed anything was during the pandemic, and just due to various circumstances, my own will was very anti-show until vaccines were in circulation.
Yep.
No, that's perfect, man. It's
I
good
mean,
to see where you guys stand, and you know what I mean. We had this conversation with Cross Dogs about the vaccine and the science behind it, and why we should get it, and this or that, or why you shouldn't. You know, and it's nice to actually talk about it. You know what I mean? A lot of people can't talk about it. They'll argue whether you get it or you don't. They'll fucking fight you to the death for it, right? Like, you know.
Yeah.
Right. The problem I have is it's very hard for me to attempt to reach a middle ground with anyone who's blatantly against something, just in the same way that anyone that's blatantly for something without any ground in the middle. Like, I understand the skepticism behind the science here and the fact that the government is what's pushing it. I know that that's where a lot of people's concerns come into play. But yeah, it's people that have stubbornly drawn their lines in the sand and are just refusing to see one way or the other. It's just like, I'm just not even going to bother talking with you because it's just like you said, it's not going anywhere.
Right. No, it's kind of nice to have a conversation about something that's common and have different thoughts about it, and everybody still be comfortable about it at the end and still be friends. Because right now, like you guys are saying, like there's a line in the sand. So you know, it's
a lot of things.
Well,
good thing I can't draw straight because my line's all crooked as fuck. Right.
Don't cross this.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it's like this.
Yeah.
When I'm honest enough with myself to know that I can be incredibly stubborn and or abrasive at times, and that is a fault of mine.
Big truth.
But it really just depends on what we're talking about. If it's something I morally feel that is something that we need to do for the greater good of all, I'm going to stand my ground on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even
No, I
if
agree with you.
if I'm presenting my idea in, the form of a verbal brick I'm throwing your way, or just gentle conversation.
I like that.
Right.
The message is getting heaved one way or the other.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start with a gentle conversation, and then we'll get to the brick throwing later.
Yeah.
We'll start off smooth and slow, baby.
Is that like what you do on stage, verbal brick throwing? You're like actually like throwing.
As my Facebook bio says, I'm a rioteer, so I'm actually trying to incite a riot. But
well, you can tell with the music, your video. So, how did you end up shooting the video? Did you guys shoot it a while back and been sitting on it, or is it something that came out in the last year?
No, so we actually recorded the song and did the video all within like a couple week time span back in February.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, wow.
So we've all been very, very careful in terms of wearing masks and who we've been working with. And even when we recorded our album amidst when the pandemic was at its peak, we were really only going to work, to the studio, hanging out with the producer, and going home. Like, we weren't out and about doing anything. We weren't going to hotels. Like, we were working and recording the record 2 hours away from where we
destroying our own bodies in the process of that.
Yeah, so we were, it's just always being careful with masks, being conscious of keeping masks on at all times, and trying to be socially distant when we can. Unfortunately, when you're using cameras and lights and stuff, and you're playing, you get close. But I mean, me, the twins, and Max, we're in a band together, so obviously we're gonna sit in a room together. We're gonna write music together.
Yeah. No, 100%, right?
But
it's
I know that
22, right? You can only do so much. Whether you spray your hands before you go in, like you said, you have your mask.
Well, and every potential exposure that any member of this band has ever had has immediately been followed by a test of some sort. So we've been very careful. And it helps that I live around the corner from the twins, and Max and the twins work around the corner from where the twins live.
So we all kind of interconnected together.
We're all just right here.
Yeah. You didn't have to travel 5 hours to fucking get a tank of gas, go in and get smokes or drink and all that fun stuff, right?
Yep, it's the same gas station that I would go to get water from is the same gas station that I pump my gas at normally. So same
I
people.
hear you there. Same, like with Amanda and I working through the pandemic, I did quite a few shows in house, and with the new car, I can drive to her house and back without having to go to any other weird gas station, just my one at home, right? I didn't go to anywhere other until I got to her place, and it was strictly up into her place to the studio, and then I was home again, right? So
exposure was minimum
pretty
for
good.
us, definitely.
I've been tested 3 times now because of possible exposure, and all of them come back negative so far. So cross my fingers,
I've gotten I think I've gotten like 2 or 3 as well for random times we thought something could happen. I've gotten jammed in my nose too many times.
I know that. Not a big fan of stuff in my nose. Not anymore.
It's like they're trying to touch your brain. It's like a lobotomy, man. They're trying to fix you here. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. It's not really a COVID test. They're just
they're
implanting
that. It's that brain chip they use to control you now. That's how they do that. That's how they
Life has never been the same since I've been probed 3 different times.
No, right? I went to college, bud, so that was definitely a weird experience, right?
No kidding.
Been there.
Been there.
See, a fellow Legionnaire.
Yeah, well, I went to Central Michigan, which is the party school of Michigan. So.
Oh, nice, eh? I kind of did the same here in Toronto, out of Casa Loma. Trade school.
I'm a proud dropout.
Nice.
I dropped out of college, and I'm doing pretty well for myself, I think. I hope.
I mean, at least you got your diploma. That's what matters.
That's right.
Your high school diploma.
I hate it. I hated school.
I didn't get my high school diploma until I was 27. So, and then I went to bartending school. I didn't even go to college. So you guys are all one up on me.
Well, nowadays, I wouldn't recommend anybody go straight to college out of high school. No. I recommend working immediately out of high school, so you can at least you can kind of sit around, make some money, figure out what the hell you're going to do, and know your folks for another year or so. And then if you decide you want to go to college, that's the goal. But expecting kids to figure out what they want to do for the rest of their lives at 14 years old and adjust it from 14 until 17 and then just expect them to follow that at 18 is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I wasted a lot of my parents' money. I'll just say that. They had a college fund for me, and I hated it. I hated college. And then I would stop showing up. I even took audio class, and I thought the teacher sucked, so I was like, I'm not coming back. And I hated it. It wasn't for me. But if my work tells me, hey, you'll go to a class for something, like I'm going for like measuring and crap, I'm down. I'll go for 2 days. I'm totally good. I just don't want to go all semester for it.
Right.
No, we have our safety courses and stuff. We got to keep up on our tickets and our boat licenses and stuff because we work a lot on the water and shit. And, but my university stuff that I did, I don't even fucking use it other than I'm trying to pick up a chick at the bar. I try to sound all smart, you know what I mean? But that's about it, you know what I mean? Like, look at this diploma.
You see the money flying out?
Paper, though.
I live in my car, by the way.
My piece of paper hangs on my wall and collects dust.
Exactly, right.
So you say it's
but I agree with
dust?
Agree with you there. Like, definitely take a year off and work and save every dollar, and then take a second year off and travel the motherfucking world, or travel as far as you can go on the money you save, and then figure out what you're gonna do. You know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna recommend anybody do anything crazy like that, but I'll recommend to take the year off.
Take the year off.
Save the money.
TJ will take care of that.
And then do what you want. Do as your heart desires with the that second year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I believe traveling's an essential. I think whether you don't got to go across to like the Jamaican or fucking Cuba, even, just go somewhere else, man. See what it's like somewhere else. Right?
I agree. I had to travel the U.S. to figure out that I am a homebody through and through.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm a touring musician that would rather be at home, but I love playing music, and to play music, you got to be on the road. So I completely understand. I completely understand it, and for me, I enjoy playing music enough to where it's worth it to me. But in my head, my own will is getting a luxurious residency at Vegas, so I can set up in Las Vegas for the next year of my life or whatever, and just play shows on the Strip. Just play shows on the Strip and go to the same place every single night. Be able to go pass out in my own bed after every single show. It'd be great.
Walk to work.
Exactly. See, now you speak my language.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Oh wow! What are you gonna play? Can we play Penn and Teller Theater? I'm totally down.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I want to play on the Siegfried and Roy stage.
Ooh, I'm here. Can we Can we like get in with the Cirque du Soleil and just kind of like do a tour with all the Cirque du Soleil people? I'm down.
No, because they don't want us as their background
they
band.
do.
Say your
Come
background
on.
I
music
bet you some of them
might
do,
not go.
though.
Yeah.
Look how
might
like
be-
strong and like flexible they are. They need strong, heavy music to do strong things.
Heavy music.
Well, hey, I'm gonna write that down, and then when I put together my heavy metal circus act, you guys will do the
yes.
show.
We'll call.
Dun 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 dun.
Oh,
We're on
boy,
to something
that is-
here, boys. We got this.
I'm telling you, Cirque du Soleil, my own will, and it'll just be
Yeah.
like big and heavy.
Thank you for this nightmare fuel. I love this.
Yeah.
I'm so
We should
glad.
probably drop the word copyright around now
Yeah.
or so.
Right.
Everything that's been said is now
Right.
copyrighted.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Trademark.
Is that still going
everything.
off? There we go. Shut that shit off.
Register.
My alarm went off. Yeah, I had an alarm. I
I
had
know,
to get
it's-
up for a meeting the other day.
That's why I got up a minute ago, was to turn my
Actually gonna-
alarm from my other phone off.
Tell me about the weather and the traffic. Fuck off. I'm in the middle of an interview. Right.
Weather's
Fucking
fine.
Google.
I shut
I love you,
everything
Google.
off on my phone.
Yeah, I know she's listening to me. I love her.
You know she's listening.
Yeah.
So right on. Well, is there anything you want to tell the world that we haven't asked you about, or you haven't already told us?
Make sure you check out our new single "My Tomb," available everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Google Play.
Tubes.
Yep. You can find us on BandCamp. We also have a big cartel. If you want to buy some merch from us, you can buy some merch through Big Cartel. We handle all of that ourselves. If you want me to leave you dirty love notes in the merch package, I will. Just leave that in your
Inbox.
credits or whatever you want. No, there's like you can leave like a comment or whatever when you place
I would
the order.
love if someone wanted you to write a dirty
TJ's
love
I'm on
writing
it right
that
now,
down
bud.
right
Anybody
now.
on the
Texting
screen,
you right
please.
now.
Order
Yeah,
a
Max
dirty
Max
love
will
note.
write you a
I
love
will.
poem.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, we
I
handle
can't
all
wait.
of our own merch. So
I want-
we have a full length that is hopefully going to be out before the end of the year. However,
really
we just experienced one. I would like to say it's a minor setback, but it's actually a fairly major setback. So,
no, it's not.
but
Tell me why.
yeah, so we're hoping to have that out before the end of the year, if not the beginning of next year.
Excellent.
When shows start popping back up, which I've been seeing tours announced as of
Yep.
late, which is sweet. So you should expect to see our name posting some flyers for some shows here. I can't talk too much, but we have a benefit show booked for as of right now for a venue that we hold near and dear to our hearts up here in the Michigan local scene. So yeah, pay attention to our socials. We'll have more information when we can talk about that.
Excellent.
Other than that, yeah, man, keep streaming us on Spotify. We're over 3,000 monthly listeners now on an independent single, so that's pretty sweet.
And I know your video has done very well on YouTube as
Yes,
well. In the
it
last
has.
week.
Yeah, I've been listening to you guys all day.
And actually, we got on the Sumerian Records playlist too.
Yep.
We got on that.
Yeah, I Loudwire too, eh?
Yeah, Loudwire and was it Hopeless
Loudwire?
Records?
Yep, Loudwire was the release of the week, so yeah, that was the weekly playlist, but still, that was a super sick honor for
so
the
cool.
week. That was real sweet. The Sumerian Records thing's real cool too. Yeah, we're very fortunate. We've worked real hard, and people are taking us seriously, and it's very warming and humbling that like I said, this is our we were signed for our last EP the record label is no more, so we
Yep.
are free agents again.
Yep.
Which so that's what makes a single even cooler is the fact that it's just us putting it out.
It was all
mainly.
independent. It was
Yeah.
all us. Yeah, that was cool. I thought.
Congratulations, guys! You guys have obviously put a lot of work and time and effort into it. It's paying off for you guys, and I appreciate you. I know you guys are busy taking the time to come out and be with us for the evening.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a good time.
Man. It's been an honor.
Oh no, Bones, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for having us.
Anytime, man. Like when you guys got new stuff, even if it's a single or when your album's out, let us know.
Yeah,
we'll make sure we have a sit down again for sure.
Sounds good, man. We definitely will. We're always down to sit down and talk with new people.
Yeah.
So and
Thank
old
you,
people.
Awesome.
You know, it's great chat with you guys, and this has been a fun conversation. And we're definitely looking forward to them in the future.
Right
Can't
on.
wait,
awesome.
man. Play it
we'll talk to you about Sofa City Sounds afterwards too.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Chat has also been awesome. Special shout out to Kevin. He's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
Sarah, I've seen her in there. Samantha's been in there the whole time.
Everyone been killing it.
Pamela Thompson, thanks for stopping by and laughing at us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to give everybody in the chat a shout out real quick before we signed off. So
yeah,
no, appreciate it. Play it loud and play it proud, baby. And we got a busy month. That's all I can say for now. I'll put up an advertisement later this week about all the shit that's happening. But
it's gonna be crazy.
Take us off whenever, Brandon, and play loud.